Today, we're going to learn how to make a new line pattern brush. We'll also learn how to save it for future use. First, make a new Adobe Illustrator document. I use the default for an Illustrator document for print purposes. Then I drew some doodles that I thought might make interesting pattern lines. To save time, I've already created some on this document. Notice that I have more than one in this document because I want to make a set of brushes. Now I'm ready to start making a pattern brush. First, select the object you drew with the Direct Selection tool. If the object has an inside and an outside, select both by holding down the Shift key. You can also rubber band select by clicking and dragging across the object to get everything that way. Go to the Pathfinder window. If you don't see it, you can bring it into view by going to the Window menu. Now select Unite. Next, we'll go to Object, Pattern, Make. In the Patterns option window, name your pattern. Then change Copies to 1 by 1. Next, we're going to go to the Brushes palette. And again, if you don't see that Brushes palette, go to Window and then go down to Brushes so you can see it. Click on the New Icon button to create a new brush. Choose Pattern Brush from the list on the lower left-hand side. Click OK. Let's name this brush something logical so that a year from now you'll know what it is. You'll have to select the pattern you made from the list in the lower left-hand window and then click OK. You can see our brush shows up in the Brushes palette now. Let's repeat this process to make a couple more brushes, so we'll make a set of brushes. So now that we have several brushes created, we probably want to save this brush set for other drawings in the future. We'll do that by going to the Brushes window. You'll probably want to get rid of all the other default brushes that loaded so they don't become part of your brush set. To do that, select them, then press the trash can in the lower right-hand side on the Brushes palette. I like to do that so that my new brush pattern library only has the brushes that I created in it. Select the brush or brushes that you made. If you are selecting more than one, remember to hold down the Shift key. Now go to the upper right flyout menu and then let go on Save Brush Library. Let it save into your user library. Once again, name it something logical so that you will know what it is later, and be sure to keep the .ai ending. So let's say we actually want to use our brush set for a drawing. I will create a new Adobe Illustrator document using the default for print settings. Next, I need to load the brush set I created. Go to the Brushes palette. In the lower left-hand side, you will see the Brushes Library menu. Click and hold on it, come down to User Defined, and this is where you'll see the brush set that you created. Click on it, and it will appear in a new window. Now simply drag and drop the brushes that you want to your Brushes panel. To use the brushes, let's use the pencil tool and draw a line quickly. You can also use the pen tool if you want to draw something more complex or have more control over your line. Now, with the line selected, come to the Brushes palette and click the brush you want. But let's say that brush is too big for the particular shape that you have drawn. You can resize it for just this object by going to the flyout menu in the upper right-hand corner of the Brushes palette and let go on Options of Selected Object. From this window that pops up, you can resize it or play with any of the other options here. Then click OK. And again, you'll see that it only changed for that one object. You can use that brush again in its original size on the same document. So now I think you get the idea of how to make a line pattern brush. I hope that inspired you to make some interesting line brush patterns.